Hello and welcome one and all to my show. I'm Nurul Islam, your host, and of course, this is your super awesome channel, Back to School Lyceum, Bangladesh. Today I'll talk about the short story, The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. I feel nostalgic when I read this story because it was the part of our textbook in 11th class. How amazing the story is. The Gift of the Magi is a short story by William Sidney Porter, better known by his pen name O. Henry. O. Henry was an American writer, and this story was first published in 1905, 118 years ago. The story tells of a young husband and wife and how they deal with the challenge of buying secret gifts for each other with very little money. The theme of the story is that the greatest gift of all is unconditional love. There are three characters in the story: Della, her husband Jim, and Madame Sofronie. Della and Jim are a young married couple who want to give each other special Christmas gifts. Madame Sofronie is the owner of a hair shop where Della sells her hair to pay for a gift for Jim. $1.87. That was all. And 60 cents of it was in pennies. Pennies saved 1 and 2 at a time by bulldozing the grocer and the butcher until 1/6 burned with the silent imputation of parsimony that such close dealing implied. 3 times Della counted it. $1.87. And the next day would be Christmas. There were 2 possessions of the James Dillingham's Youngs in which they both took a mighty pride. One was Jim's gold watch that has been his father's and his grandfather's. The other was Della's hair. "Will you buy my hair?" asked Della. "I buy hair," said Madam. "Take your hat off and let's have a sight at the looks of it." Down rippled the brown cascade. $20, said Madam, lifting the mass with a practiced hand. "Give it to me quick," said Della. Della bought a platinum fob chain for Jim's watch. $21 they took from her for it, and she hurried home with 78 cents. When Della reached home, her intoxication gave way a little to prudence and reason. She got out her curling irons and lighted the gas and went to work repairing the ravages made by generosity added to love, which is always a tremendous task. Within 40 minutes, her head was covered with tiny, close-laying curls that made her look wonderfully like a truant schoolboy. She looked at her reflection in the mirror long, carefully, and critically. "If Jim doesn't kill me," she said to herself, "before he takes a second look at me, he will say I look like a Coney Island chorus girl. But what could I do? Oh, what could I do with $1.87? The door opened and Jim stepped in and closed it. He looked thin and very serious. His eyes were fixed upon Della. "Jim, darling," she cried, "don't look at me that way. I had my hair cut off and sold it." "You have cut off your hair?" asked Jim. "Cut it off and sold it. Don't you like me just as well anyway? I am me without my hair, ain't I?" Jim drew a package from his overcoat pocket and threw it upon the table. They were expensive combs that Della's heart had simply craved and yearned over them without the least hope of possession. And now they were hers, but the tresses that should have adorned the coveted adornments were gone. But she hugged them to her bosom, and at length she was able to look up with dim eyes and a smile and say, "My hair grows so fast, Jim." Jim had not yet seen his beautiful present. She held it out to him eagerly upon her open palm. The dull precious metal seemed to flash with a reflection of her bright and ardent spirit. "Isn't it a dandy, Jim? I hunted all over town to find it. You'll have to look at the time 100 times a day now. Give me a watch. I want to see how it looks on it." Instead of obeying, Jim tumbled down on the couch and put his hands under the back of his hands and smiled. "Dell," said he, "let's put our Christmas present away and keep them a while. They're too nice to use just at present. I sold the watch to get the money to buy you combs. And now suppose you put the chops on." And that's the end of the story.